Most people have heard of a haunted house. Doors that creak, footsteps in an empty hallway, maybe a cold spot nobody can explain. But there's one case from the backwoods of Tennessee in 1817 where the ghost didn't just haunt a family, it spoke to them. It argued theology with a preacher. It sang hymns in a stranger's voice and cracked jokes at the dinner table. And then calmly, in front of witnesses, it told one man exactly how he was going to die. Nobody believed it, until they did. This one has depositions, court testimony, even a written account kept by the family itself. And to this day, nobody has explained it away. The year is 1817. John Bell is a respected farmer in Robertson County, Tennessee. A church deacon, a father of 9. A man other families in the county actually look up to. His land is good, his name is good. Life on the farm is hard, but it's ordinary, predictable. The kind of life where the biggest worry is weather and crops, not anything hiding in the walls. His youngest daughter, Betsy, is 12, well-liked, close with her family. Nothing about the Bell household stands out. Nothing about their story should have made it into the history books. That's the setup you'd expect from a normal farm family. But something was wrong long before anyone admitted it out loud. It starts small. John is the first one to notice. A strange animal at the edge of his cornfield, somewhere between a dog and a rabbit, watching him without moving. He raises his gun. It's gone before he can fire. He doesn't mention it to anyone. A few nights later, the knocking begins. Soft at first, on the outside walls, then on the inside, then, impossibly, on the ceiling above the beds. The children hear scratching like claws dragging across wood, coming from inside walls with no space for anything to hide. Betsy feels her blankets yanked off in the middle of the night. Nobody else in the room feels a thing. What happened next is the part almost nobody believes on the first telling. That's when the family starts locking doors that were never locked before, in a house where nobody has ever bothered to lock a door. If this kind of case can help you fall down a rabbit hole, this channel wants you here for it. A quick like tells us to keep telling stories like this one. John tells everyone it's rats, maybe an owl in the attic. Farm life is full of strange nighttime noises, and a respected deacon doesn't go around telling neighbors his house might be cursed. He keeps it to himself. He doesn't send for help. He just tells the family to go back to bed. For a while, that almost works. The knocking gets quieter. The scratching stops. I had no idea, Richard Bell would later write of those weeks, that we had only bought ourselves a little peace and nothing more. Then the voice arrives. At first, it's barely a whisper, easy to mistake for wind through the floorboards. Then it's a whistle. Then one night, it forms actual words, hoarse, dry, coming from every corner of the room at once. It tells the family its name doesn't matter. It tells them it can see everything they do, everywhere in the house, even things they've told no one. I remember the whole room going silent, Richard later wrote. The first time it spoke back to my mother mid-sentence. Word gets out fast in a county this small. Visitors start arriving from other towns just to hear it debate scripture with the local preacher. Word for word, then laugh when he loses the argument. Neighbors leave, convinced this isn't a prank, a draft, or a family playing tricks on itself. At this point, even John can't call it an owl anymore. The voice picks a favorite. Betsy. It pulls her hair so hard that clumps come out in her hands, in front of her own brothers, who can see it happening and can't stop it. It slaps her hard enough to leave finger-shaped welts the neighbors can see for themselves. It stops her breath mid-sentence, holding her frozen while the family watches, unable to help. But the voice makes one more thing clear. It isn't only here for Betsy, it's here for her father. Suddenly, John starts having spells. His tongue swells so large he can't speak for days. His legs seize without warning and drop him mid-step. The voice starts saying it out loud, calmly, to the whole room. I am going to kill old Jack Bell. Nobody in that house doubts it anymore. Word spreads through the county so fast that even Andrew Jackson, years before he's president, reportedly sends men to investigate for themselves. They don't stay long. If a voice that watches you and never sleeps gets under your skin, this is a good moment to subscribe, because the next 2 stories on this channel go further than this one does. By 1820, John Bell can barely function. His face twitches on its own. He can't chew solid food. Then, one December morning, he doesn't wake up. The family finds him in a strange stupor, unresponsive, his own medicine cabinet searched through. Under his bed, they find a small dark vial nobody in the house recognizes and nobody remembers buying. His son tests a single drop on the family cat. The cat convulses and dies almost immediately. The next thing I saw, Richard would later write, I wish I could unsee. While the family stands there in shock, the voice fills the room, louder and clearer than it's ever been. It doesn't deny a thing. It takes credit. I gave old Jack a big dose of that last night, it says, and that fixed him. Then, by the family's own account, it starts laughing and keeps laughing straight through the funeral in front of every mourner who came to pay their respects. You'd think that's where the story ends. It isn't. The voice stays for months after the burial, talking, singing, needling Betsy about her upcoming wedding, until she finally calls it off, just to make it stop. Then, as suddenly as it arrived, it leaves, but not before one last promise. It tells the family it will come back in 7 years. According to local accounts, in 1828, it does exactly that, visiting John Bell Jr. for a short, unexplained stretch before vanishing again, this time for good. To this day, the cave on the old Bell property draws visitors who describe the same knocking, the same scratching, the same cold spots the family reported 2 centuries ago. Some say they knew something was still down there before they even reached the entrance. No historian has ever offered an explanation that fully holds up. No trick, no prankster, no diagnosis accounts for what dozens of witnesses, including a future president of the United States, swore they experienced firsthand. I thought it was over, one visitor wrote after a single night in that cave. Then I heard it laugh, and I got the hell out of there. And if a voice in the dark unsettles you, wait until you hear what's waiting in story 2, because this next one doesn't just talk, it follows people home. Stay with me.